We have got a new problem, well, a couple of new problems actually, but a new problem that I want to discuss today about leaks that we will talk about. Some users in the UK can't play on the PS5 right now. That's a whole nother problem happening at the moment that actually isn't, I believe, EA's fault. So we'll discuss that. And also the market crash right now is just, I mean, it's getting insane. And it shows a couple of things. It might be the worst ever, the worst crash ever. I know we've said that before in many years. I'll kind of explain why it's definitely one of the worst we've ever seen. And we'll talk about why that could be honestly not even a bad thing, or it could also be a very bad thing, a demotivating thing. So if you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the description. They are the cheapest and safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. But of course, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. And we got this base icon upgrade today, and I think EA are trying to add some more content, despite I think FC Pro Live being a promo they didn't plan on dropping a lot of content for, would be my guess. I think they're trying to get this game back on track in terms of just like dropping a bunch of shit, and they're dropping a lot of XP right now, XP boosts for next season even, which they've never done, especially in the season 2. But the max 90 base icon upgrade is so overpriced that even I'm like, for content reasons, I'm thinking, do I even want to do it? Now they do give you some really good packs for this, which is an interesting kind of change from EA. They usually do not drop this good of packs with these icon or gamble SBCs, and they did drop a jumbo premium gold players tradable pack, which shows you they're attempting to kind of like get rid of fodder here, but also they're trying to entice you to do it more because they're giving some tradable packs in there. Obviously, it's nice the fact that we get some pretty big packs out of that, but I don't know. What do you guys make of them adding some like way bigger packs than usual in one of those gamble SBCs? Are they just trying to entice you to do it more, or are they just trying to be nicer? I guess I don't know. We got Xabi Alonso today, and once again, he's pretty overpriced. The FUT freeze requirement prediction was correct, which that's what we're going to talk about later. But yeah, he's okay. And also there was a glitch on his card where it showed that he was a Thunderstruck icon, but they took that away, and obviously he's not a Thunderstruck icon, but more glitches because the code was made in 1786. We've gotten a couple of pretty good evolutions actually too. I was excited to try this Willy Nanto out. If anybody somehow has this Willy Nanto evolution, please tell me if you have tried him or not. Gets 4-star skills, power shot plus, right? It's funny because now we get a kind of a couple of good ones, and it's interesting because was this the plan to kind of wait and give some good ones later and just really slow down the power curve this year? Or are they just like, oh shit, everyone's leaving, please come back, here's some good stuff? And I've talked about this plenty of times before, but it just shows you that if we had communication from EA saying, hey, we're going to slow down the power curve this year, expect that, we think this will be better for you in the long run, I think that we'd be so much more inclined to be easier on them because we know they're trying to slow it down, and people would stay around for longer because they know good content is coming later. But instead, they're just like, go suck one. I mean, why is there no community manager? I mean, it's kind of insane that a game this big, there's nobody to talk to. But anyway, okay, the title of this video is going to be, there is another problem right now. And honestly, this is up there with a whole nother branch of leak problems that we're now going to have based off of this, because we now have SBC requirement leaks. We now know the price of a card before it even comes out. We now know potentially the price of a gamble SBC before it comes out. Icon upgrade, SBC requirements right here. We were seeing tweets about that earlier. FUT freeze, we talked about that, I think it was 2 days ago, tweeting out the price of the card before it even comes out. I did not tweet the requirements, but obviously this shows you that they know the requirements, and there could potentially be leaks in Discords, Patreons out there with the requirements needed for these cards. It also was just not a one-off. We got back-to-back days where FUT freeze tweets out the requirements for the SBC, right? There's also this picture, so somebody knew the requirements specifically, and yeah, I mean, this is another aspect of the game that will be manipulated behind the scenes. People will pay good money for this, like Jake says here. I would assume now people are paying a good chunk of money to access leaks early. Having information of requirements is just another step too far, and this is, yeah, it's just another step added on to market manipulation that we're going to see behind the scenes here. And we know right now that leaks can affect the market big time. We've known that, and that's been a thing now for 3-4 years. Requirements, though, have really never been leaked before, especially publicly, and we've never seen real movements prior to leaks to suggest that people know specific requirements ahead of time, like 2-time team of the week cards, right? Because now people are going to find out later on if an SBC comes out where it's like, hey, during the next promo, a Thunderstruck player is required for an SBC, right? And now there's no way to invest in that. In order to actually be in on any investment right now, you pretty much have to be in on the leaks, and most of the time, the leaks ahead of time. What's also kind of interesting here is this actually wasn't the requirement. Actually an 88 rated squad instead of an 87 rated squad. Now, I'm not sure if this was like a typo potentially, because you can see here, these are kind of fucked up. So this might have been like a typo of the exact graphic here. But the point is, we have requirements leaked right now. That's going to be a thing that we have to now acknowledge, and we have to check and see if fodder starts to rise all of a sudden out of nowhere, then we know we're probably getting something leaked. And we now even know the price of a card pre-content time, which also, there's no way EA are going to like this. To me, this is where there might be a silver lining in this, is that EA could draw the line here at leaks at this point of the leaks, because if you know Xabi Alonso is 450,000 coins before he comes out, you know you're not completing that card. You know you're like, okay, there's no way in hell that card's gonna be very good. We now know the stats of the card before it gets leaked. We know the price of the card before it even comes out. Like, at that point, you know everything about it. And if you don't like it, you're not even gonna be excited for content on whatever day. When the next player SBC, we know is Xabi Alonso, and what's the point in hopping on content that day when you know it's overpriced and you've seen the card already, you don't like it? So that, to me, there's actually a chance that EA are like, okay, we kind of got to put a stop to this here soon. Or maybe EA are fine with it, and that's kind of why it's happening. They're trying something new. They think that we want to leak everything. Just leak everything prior to it actually dropping, and maybe they think that's some sort of strategy, like marketing strategy. I don't know. But of course, what do you guys think about it? Leaks, now knowing them too, are just more important, because you now have every inch of everything that could possibly drop is leaked beforehand, and we know it now. So I think it's dumb. I think it sucks. I think leaks have not been a positive thing to FIFA, I would say. Maybe they sometimes are. Maybe they probably, I'd say in total, haven't been. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. And then also, FC25 is currently broken. It's not really currently broken for everybody. It's PS5 and British Telecom users only right now are having massive problems. And it's to the point where it's pretty much unplayable. Now, FC25 is actually not the only game that this issue is affecting. It's apparently like an ISP issue, an internet service provider issue. And EA tweeted this out. Well, I think they were trying to figure out what was going on. And we also got this update on the forums. Right here, we got an update on BT users having issues in the UK. He says, I am being reasonable, and this is not a cop-out. I'm assuming he must have accused him of that in the previous reply up here. You're more than welcome to keep playing, but until your ISP gets this resolved for everyone, chances are good you'll continue to disconnect. And the most important sentence is down here saying, you know, I understand the frustration. Unfortunately, there is very little we can do at the moment. We are going to have to wait until this gets resolved by the ISP. So they are claiming, and the other games that are also having this issue with BT are claiming that it's not on them. So apparently it's an ISP issue right now. We're going on day 3, and I think this sucks for EA badly, because I'm trying to find it up here. Yeah, here it is. PS5 users in the UK outage into the 3rd day, and it's one of the most upvoted posts every day on Reddit. And EA, I think, are having a hard time with this, because they're like, damn, we're trying to get people back on our game, stay on our game. We don't want to lose any more people than we already have. And it's like, oops, you can't play it right now, at least feasibly, in the UK on PS5, which is the majority of their users, by the way. That's the biggest user base, is UK PS5 players. I think that's literally like their biggest chunk of the player base, and they're having issues. And then also there's been PC issues. The PC version has been widely reported to be much slower since the last patch. Guys, this new patch fucked the PC gameplay now. I lag all the time, says Inception. Please tell me you have settings to fix this, or I'm going to lose it. This is not just an Inception problem. It's been all over the PC community. I was getting comments about it. You know, this guy says I'm getting stutters like crazy right now, and I have not noticed a problem myself, but I also have like a juiced out PC. Like, I've got a 4070, pretty good specs, so I haven't noticed much of an issue in my like 10 games I've played, but many people are reporting this to be an issue since the patch. Now, you could say it's all in our heads, whatever, you know, you can always say that, and sometimes I think there are things that are in our heads. But when there's thousands of people all of a sudden at once saying, hey, this is worse, we should probably look into it. Because remember, at one point, we had a minority of players saying, hey, you know, there's like delay in the game. You guys are realizing this? There's like delay, like actual delay in the game. It's not meant to be there. It's all in your head, you know? It's all in your head, guys. Remember that whole argument? We had that for years. And now it's not an argument anymore because it's so pronounced. We might get to this point eventually on PC too, where it just gets so pronounced that no matter what specs you got, PC PC gameplay issues happen. So I'll keep you updated on if there are any fixes for anything like that. If you guys had that problem and they managed to fix it on PC, let us know in the comments. But okay, leaks. We're on to leaks now. We've got Winter Champions players, upgradable cards. Apparently, it's not just going to be if the club of the player finishes at the top of the league. We also, well, we have Gundogan and Konate first. We'll talk about that more in a sec. We also have club of player finishes above the relegation zone. So there's also like different types of objectives that EA can select, where this one's relegation zone or above the relegation zone, and this one's like top of the league, right? So all four of these are confirmed though. Gundogan and Konate, stats or not. It's supposed to come out during Thunderstruck promo, and funnily enough, Liverpool won this weekend, and now Man City lost again. So now you're looking at an 8-point gap. So I mean, this little versus matchup probably won't be great, but it's also now scheduled to come during the Thunderstruck promo, which is going to be next Friday. Well, this Friday in 5 days. I'm sure we'll end up seeing more about this. It looks like we potentially could have Winter Champions cards. We could have Thunderstruck players and icons, and we could also have a best of in packs all at the same time. We haven't heard anything about the best of yet and if it will come out, but we did have that in the promo last year. So if all that stuff was to come out at the same time, it would create a lot of interest. Now, of course, the issue is, will we have engaging content or will it all be in the store? And that will make or break the promo for I think almost everybody. Also, there's no player picks coming today at content time. I think they're probably going to wait till next Monday and then drop that for Thunderstruck and have a week off of the player picks, but that was one of the few things getting us to do anything. Now, the funny thing is, actually, there was no way to get commons. There still is no way right now to get any gold commons, really, so player picks not coming out actually doesn't change too much, but we could get exchanges for Black Friday too. Chance of that. I mean, we know that's coming out sometime soon. FIFA Trading Romania actually hinted at that. So I'm expecting to see a lot of good stuff for Black Friday because I think they know that this is one of the worst launches to a FIFA pretty easily. Okay, let's talk about the market now. It is just, it's going down continuously and continuously. Vinicius has gone half in price in about a week and a half. If you go back here, look at the graph, we look at the last week, he was at 1.24 on the 17th, which was already kind of a crash. We go to month, we're looking at 1.44 on the 12th, 1.4 on the 14th. So you're looking at 10 days, he has gone down half in price. Keep in mind, this is before Black Friday. Usually this is going to be the lightning rounds, like peak gold crash after Black Friday, right? That's the sort of price I expected to see Vinicius at that point, but we're already there pre-Black Friday. Mbappe down to 2 mil. I'm guessing on the 14th, he was 3 mil, a little over 3, I'm gonna say. Let's see, go to month. On the 14th, he was, yeah, right about 3 million coins. The biggest cards in the game massively dropping before Black Friday. What does that mean? Obviously, we talked about, I think it was a couple days ago, we talked about players just not being interested in the gameplay, so they're just selling their teams and waiting with coins right now. The buying power in the market just is not there as much as it usually is at this time. I think, which in turn makes most people who are still on the game very market savvy and are aware that a crash is coming and they sold already, or they're selling right now, like into the crash, right? So I think those two reasons are sort of intertwined in a way. And the third reason I think this is happening is that we do get more tradable packs this year than we have before, and either in rewards or in the store. We're getting more tradable store packs too. So let me know what you guys think about this, because this kind of does one of two things with the game. I mean, Putellas is down to 99,000 coins. It can be a good thing because this will help you afford better teams. You'll be able to afford Alexia Putellas in your team now quicker than you probably usually would be able to. However, obviously, packing things now, not as rewarding necessarily. When you pack a Putellas and she's less than 100k, and packing Putellas is so hard in this game because pack weight is extremely bad. So that's a negative there. And then also you have the prices remaining obviously extremely high on, let's just go look at a Garrincha icon, like a card that isn't even maybe like end game, but you got to pack Alexia Putellas 10 times to afford Garrincha. And that's not even count in, you know, some of the bigger icons out there like Puskas, 1.8 million. You got to pack Alexia Putellas 18 times to afford one Puskas. That's where also that can play a factor in the market being low and also being pretty much inaccessible towards the higher stuff. So there's positives to it, there's negatives to it. Is EA intentionally doing this because they think this is going to help bring people back to the game, making the market cheap? It could be, or this could just be a side effect of people not playing the game right now. I'm not sure. It could be many things. I'm not sure what you guys think about it, but to me, I think we're going to see a buy time probably around Black Friday. Actually, I think we're probably going to see a buy time that will be pre-Black Friday. If I had to take a guess, that still there's a chance that doesn't happen if we get crazy SBCs coming out, crazy leaks. Because I also want to mention Player of the Month updates here. Mo Salah now has a chance to win it. I think Mateus Cunha has 3 goals and 3 assists so far with a game to play still. So he, I think, is in like the pole position to win it. But if he doesn't score score in the next game, there's a chance Salah ends up getting it out of just popularity, right? But most Salah, Vinny also got there's a Cunha card right there. They wouldn't choose it this much because they hate fun. But Vinny also did end up getting an assist in yesterday's game, so he got more of an increased chance of winning it, you would say. Adding on Player of the Month SBCs, if we end up seeing a Vinny and Salah, we end up seeing crazy other SBCs for Black Friday. Like, it's gonna be hard to have the market do very well. Basically, right now, you're looking at just market death beyond belief. Which, does that help us? Does that hurt us? What does that do? I don't even really know the right answer to that. And okay, let's read your comments now. We've got Victor, who says they need to do something about pack weight, to be honest. It's just really boring. And the reason I'm reading this comment is because of this sentence. It's just really boring. And that is the biggest thing with EA. They're so scared of giving us good players and good evolutions and good content that I think they literally forgot that fun matters a lot, especially when you have competition. Fun means a lot in a game. Not just the addictive nature of it. You have to also have some element of fun to then make people kind of like in the door to get addicted. Not to give EA any ideas here. And please don't get addicted to any video game, but like, I think that's actually the key. If I was gonna wear my like devil horns for a sec, I'd be like, okay, let's make them have at least, you have to have an element of fun to the game. And right now, where is it? It's just boring. That's what this game has been. You have to make your own fun, or there's just, you have no hope. Giuseppe says, does it matter about content when the gameplay is a laggy, unresponsive pile of garbage? And to be honest with you, not really. And that's why people are not as hyped up for content when the gameplay is like this, when we're playing a AAA title that doesn't do what you ask it to. I mean, it's just the simple shit. I think EA got to a point where they thought to themselves, yeah, gameplay doesn't really matter in terms of our profits. We had FIFA 19 gameplay that was literally broken and broken and broken, and we made records that year and doesn't seemingly have correlation. But when you make gameplay this bad and unresponsive, it's mainly unresponsive. When you make gameplay this laggy and unresponsive, I think it will actually shine through in your bottom line because it's so bad. So I think you can get away with a lot in terms of like gameplay not being great. When it's this bad, that's a whole different story to me. And then what the fuck is this? Wings of Age of Consent, which by the way, an insane name. Shout out Wings of Redemption. You look like Justin Herbert's chubby little brother. Yeah, that's it for me, folks. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Love some of you. See you next episode. Peace.